Welcome back to Blackacre Ranch, guys. Today's maintenance day. We got to go ahead and take care of all of our equipment. I'm not exactly the greatest person at this. You know, oil changes on a car are just fine, whatever. But equipment sometimes, I'll be honest with you, always gets pushed back. But we got to make sure we do a little bit better on that. So we have our mower, the Deere push mower, the brush mower, we've got our tractor, the generator. They all need oil changes and even a little bit of repair in one case. So stick with us as we tackle this and then hopefully get to work. All right, so some of you guys know this is our Deere brush mower. This sucker's old school. We got it for free. Well, actually not really. I guess it depends on how you want to look at it. So we've got it. We put a bunch of money into it, getting the carburetor working, the throttle, the transmission. There's just different things. Anyway, so even with all those repairs, it's less than buying a brand new one. So after getting all that going, doing stuff the last time, I don't know, what was this, fall?
No,
winter? Spring? Okay. The chain came off and it kind of broke off right there. So we got to put a new chain on it and then make sure she's topped up and works, and then she should be ready to go. So we've got ourselves some Speeco chain. It's a roller chain. It's number 40. You know, I've never messed around with chain a lot in my life besides it was on a bike. So this is all kind of new to me, but it's a 10-foot roll of number 40 roller chain. All right, so the way chain works is you just have these link segments. All right, and these segments, this is kind of a new one, is just a bunch of these. See, it says 40, that they kind of sit like this on the chain. On the back side, I'm going to call it a plate. The plate sits there, and all of these are not coming off. There's one spot on a chain that is the master, and that's this clip right here that slides in over the plate. Okay, this master will have, as you can kind of tell, slots accepting this. The clip is really just to keep this together. Okay, so you just pop this guy off, pull it out, take the plate off, and you, in essence, can take your chain apart. Okay, now obviously ours broke. Okay, there's been some things on it. This is bad, so we're replacing it. These are samples of the master link here. You can see the detent to accept, and here's the clips right there at the bottom. So it's pretty simple. You're just going to take all of this, you're just going to measure it out how much you need, and then you got to break it at a certain spot, and that's where you use one of these guys, a roller chain breaker. You pretty much put the chain there, and there's a needle that pushes the pins out and it busts it. Okay, go get one of these if you're going to work with chain. Get it, I guess, the appropriate size. Yeah, size is 25 to 60. Ours is 40. It's just getting all these appropriate tools. You got to be able to break the spot wherever you want it, because ours is a 10-foot chain. We don't need 10 feet. We're going to break it, and we're going to create a master link from those master links and put it in there. There's a chance when you get the chain, you need just a half link, not a full link. Okay, so that's where you have offset links come in. These are just 1/2 of a full, and these operate with just a cotter pin on the side as opposed to the whole plate and clip. So have some of these on hand, have some master links, get your breaker thing and just break it where you need, put it all back together. It's as simple as that, right? In theory. Chain does stretch after a while, so you might be with it, working it, and it won't come together the same as the old chain. You might have a little bit more slack, and that's why you got to adjust full link, half link. After you run it a while, it might get slack, and you know, I mean, it could be a while before it does this, but eventually chain does stretch. You then have to just go and find that master link or any of those half links, whatever you've got in there, and add or adjust as needed. So fairly simple in process. We'll catch you some video of us kind of doing some things. I'll probably throw on the bottom what we're doing, but it's kind of a tight area, so we'll see what we can see and go from there. Okay, so then you go to the other side right now?
Yeah, I'm just loosening off.
One or the other? Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Lizzie. Hi, Darcy. Hello. Hello.
Face though.
Nice. Hi, boy.
All right, now
Not fully around it. No.
I wonder if this goes on the inside of that other guy.
Inside? Okay.
You're around over there? Yep.
Yay.
Here's the link on the side, much like these others. And then this goes on the outside to slide and cap it so it doesn't come off. It's not on straight. There it is. There, now I'll put that
Push it
side.
really hard.
There. One. There you go. One. Back. So we expect the chain to loosen over time, and as it does that, I'm sure then maybe we go back to the 1/2 link.
Like it was sagging at all under there.
Yeah, it looked like it was pretty good. So it runs. The only way to find out how well it does is to start doing it and see if it falls off. What do you think, Mimi?
I'm excited to use it again. I think it looks great.
I'm surprised it started first pull.
I know, really. I was like, dude, that's like almost mean to other people who it takes forever.
Right. All right, I don't have any footage to show you guys really of this because we started doing some stuff. We're working here in this alleyway between our 2.5 acre pen and pasture 7. And this is growing, right? And I'm never gonna get a mower here because I've got that 12-foot bat wing. It would fit, but I can't turn around and I am not backing up a hill, sloped and everything else. So this is prime stuff for what we use this Deere
mower.
The orange thing, the brush mower. We made progress up here and we thought, hey, we're gonna get you some footage, a little bit here. Let's just kind of scope this area out, and it died. So I guess I shouldn't say it died. It stopped working because, well, what do you know, the chain came off again. So this is where she died, right up in here. Obviously my work in putting this chain on probably didn't do good. We took out an extra link and it was too much, so we put a 1/2 link in. You know, if we didn't, it was just so tight we couldn't get it on. So anyway, we gotta get that all taken care of. But I'm not gonna spend my time today doing it. We're gonna have to put this back on the truck and limp it home.
Okay, you're good, you're good.
This isn't a chigger trap waiting to happen. I don't know what is. Hold on, let me get this out.
Not quite there. So close.
out to this 5075E, doing some basic maintenance. I did get a pack. You change fuel filters, oil filters, air filters, oil, hydraulic I'm not gonna worry about, but I do have most of this except I can't find the air filter. So we're gonna just kind of clean that out, check to see how bad it is. I'll just pick one up if I need. It shouldn't be that bad. So let's just get cracking on it. Start with the fuel filters and go from there. Oil filter, sorry, not the fuel filters. So I'm doing this just to get a little extra room. I popped the top. So here is the fuel filter, or the oil filter. Gosh, dang it. Right here. That's where we fill it at. And this plate does not have to come off necessarily to get this. I may do it just to make it simpler. Guys online, you'll see them just twist, 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 little bits every, and finally it squeezes. And I don't know if it's just easier to take this little bracket off and then do it. But I'm gonna start draining everything and get it going. All right, time for the tractor. I already did go down there and try the oil plug, and I could not get it off just with my little wrench set here. I don't have a breaker bar. I need to invest in that. So until that happens, we're going to use a 1/2 inch impact. I did pre-warm the engine. That's the way to do it. Here she comes. She's gonna take a while to drain. While that's happening, I'll clean the vents. These guys clog at times. Just wanna make sure they're open. This is actually an ingenious kind of little idea, I think. I really like it. So this is the screen that's placed in front of the radiator. And you just go through, clean it off so it gets stuck with stuff, the radiator doesn't. Yes, you can
Rush it.
use compressed air, but I don't have electric here, so I don't. Apparently my wife's telling me I've got oil everywhere. Plug came out pretty quick. So there's one big air filter. It's right up here in the front. Just gonna check this guy. If I can clean him, I'll just clean them.
That's a lot of dirt.
Yep.
There you go. Woo.
In case some of you guys are wondering, am I just being cheap? Kind of. I bought one, I can't find it. I'll look to replace it in the near future, but until then, this one's good. The other air filter, there's a second stage. It's sitting in here. It doesn't even look touched. So, we're just gonna put this guy back on. And we'll look to just change him in the near future when I get another filter. In case you are wondering, there is a mark. It says top. All right, let's get this plug back in. Now, I don't know who did this before, but that was Herculean tight. Next is the oil filter, and there's 4 bolts. for a minute of wrenching. Probably saved 5 minutes of fighting that thing. It's a lot of thread, man. Try and get it a little cleaner. In a way, there's always something reassuring about touching warm motor oil. Feels kind of nice, actually. A little bit tight, but she's on. Wife had to help me out with this, holding it. Get a different funnel. That's what I learned. Get a different funnel. I'm going to hold off putting the grate back up until after I can start it. I want to make sure that the oil filter is not leaking. And if it's not leaking, then I'll put it back on. As you can tell, this is very much just like doing your auto, your car, your truck. Except when it's getting so dark you can't see. Probably add just a hair. From all those fencing videos we've been doing, check out my arm. Come across poison ivy somehow, somewhere. So that's it, guys. We have, if you go buy the big gallon thing, 2.5 gallons, it takes, it's 9.46 quarts. We take 8.5, so use enough to leave a little. Anyway, that's it. That's all she wrote. So we can just clean her all up, and then we get on over to the generator and get that oil changed so I can start welding. Finally got some lead on some good material, I think. So we can get back to the handling facility, as well as we got to run all that barbed wire still. So keep with us, guys. We keep doing this, but welder next. All right, guys, obviously it's another day. We're here with this Champion Elite. So, you know, this is kind of a hodgepodge of different days, getting all this maintenance stuff done. It never seems like I can get everything all in one time. So, you know, bear with us. I've probably changed outfits 5 times. But we are here now with the Champion Elite. This is our Hobart welder generator. This is what we do all of our stick welding with. I'm not super proficient, but we enjoy having it. It's been useful. I love the generator aspect with it as well. So now we've got to change the oil in this sucker. And this should hopefully be pretty easy. It's only a little guy. So this is actually a pretty simple machine. It's just up top, you have a canopy here. You're gonna have your oil enter, dipstick, your air filter. Up top, you have some instructions. Not crazy. Here on the side cabinet, this is where you have your fuel filter. The yellow is the oil. That's how it drains. I hate it. And then this is your oil filter. So it's a matter of just draining it out of that yellow guy and putting it in our bucket. Okay, so the way that this works, and I've looked at this before and I didn't quite see how it worked. On the side, if you can see, is 2 little stubs that come out from the motor. And the yellow thing, we have to push it in because it seats in like this J channel kind of area. Push it in, rotate it, and then pull it out, and it will start draining. So, you know, of course, I don't like this idea. I wish it was just pull from the bottom, but I guess it's kind of a nature of the beast, right? You mount these things on a trailer or a bed. There's no real way to get underneath per se very easily, so I can kind of see why they had to come up with something. So I guess it makes sense. I just wish I had a bolt undo and put on, honestly, but you can't knock them too much. I guess that's the way it is. What we have to do is get a hose, because this will just drain it right here. We've placed our oil bucket way down here. In fact, let me get this out. And the idea is you got to take some sort of a hose, run it through the hose down to a bucket. Now, people use like a clear tube. I think it's a 3/4 inch clear tube or something like this. I don't know. Maybe 1/2 inch. We're going to use a garden hose. So, because that's what we have. But no guarantees I'm going to be able to get this sucker off at all. Let's see. See, my fear is turning the entire plug. See here, you can see the channel. Oh, shnikes, that's it.
Woohoo!
Now I gotta get it out.
I hear it. Looks like you just pushed it back in.
Well, anything coming?
Oh, there it comes. It's here.
All right, so lesson learned, guys. If you get the right size hose, it does maybe seal around the nipple area. This is leaking quite a bit. I mean, not quite a bit. I'd say 1/4 of it probably just didn't go through like we want. But I think most of it did. Put the cap back on. And we're done with that part. All right, let's get this guy up. I'm thinking of trying to use this to funnel or at least capture. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll just bucket it under here like that. Small men need not apply. Just clean up a little bit. Takes 1.5 quarts approximately with filter. We'll put 1 quart and then measure. I don't know how much drained. Says we're about 1/2. 1 quart low. Looks good. Now we should be fresh to start everything else. So they did have a kit they could get, and the kit would sell you like the oil, a filter, and everything else. But you don't need to change your oil filter every time. They say change your oil filter every 200 hours, the oil every 100 hours. Your air filter doesn't need changed every time. So a kit, when you need to do everything, works great, but other times you need to be able to source them individually. We didn't buy a kit. All right, so that's it, guys. Did some maintenance on the vehicles. If you don't make sure your equipment's doing good, then you're gonna have a harder time out in the field when you need it to work. So we're trying our best with it. If you have a Champion Elite Hobart, that's kind of how you do an oil change. If you have a 5075, that's how you do an oil change. And if you have one of those orange DR motors, we should probably do an oil change in that sometime. But we've been worried about everything else. So the chain works. My wife did take it around. My daughter put the chain back on. She took out a half link that we had added before. and it tightened up enough that I think that's probably where it's at. My wife mowed a huge patch and everything seems to be running fine. So anyway, there you go, guys. Maintenance day. Spread out over a long period of time. But anyway, we'll catch you guys next time. Like and subscribe. We'll see you later. Bye.